Hey friends, today we are unboxing the Ellis deck. Okay, so I just have to say that this is a highly anticipated unboxing for me because I have wanted this deck for such a long time and I went back and forth. Do I really need this deck? Is there a different deck that is perhaps mass market that could kind of fill um, the spot that this deck would take? And I did try at one point. I did add I think it's called Tarot of the She, something like that. I tried that deck. I I wasn't able to bond with it. I couldn't get through all of the cards, and I ended up parting with that one. And I decided when this deck became available for a reprint, I decided to go ahead. So let's do it. I like the box, just kind of like simple and to the point. It comes with this fold out. Okay, so we have keywords for the majors. Oh, what's this? Oh, this is cool. Keywords for numbers, and then keywords for each of the suits, and keywords for each of the cards. So that's really cool. Oh, this will be exciting, I think, to use. Well, I'm looking forward to this. Okay, so, oh, snap. I didn't realize. I didn't realize. Look at the gilding. Ooh, I bet this gilding is just gonna like get everywhere, but still, it's pretty. Oh, I like the card backs. You know, I'm not a black and white person, but for this deck being so colorful, I feel like it will work out nicely. All right, let's get into it. So I think I want to hold it here. Okay, so we have the Fool. I like that it appears to be a night sky and we can't really see the figure. Um, we just kind of catch a glimpse of them as they begin their journey. Oh, this is cool. Okay, so here's the magician, and he's kind of one, two, three, four, five, six. Wow, lots of hands. A hand in everything. Isn't that the way that the magician works? They've got a little bit of something going on everywhere all at once. I like that. I really like the colors in this deck. I had been drawn to this deck for a really long time, so I'm excited to have this. I'm excited to have it. I'm excited to work with it, to get to know it, and kind of decide how it will work best in my practice. So here we have the High Priestess. So I can see like the snake here, almost like a connection to earth. You have the pillars, you have the veil, the moon in the background, just a really small gap and opening. I like the butterfly. It's really pretty. It's different. It's very different. Ooh, that Empress. I love the blue hair. She has warrior vibes. I like it. The Emperor looks good. I like that he's in purple. Ooh, the Hierophant. I like this card too. I like the stance, how he's seated, meditation pose on top of his knowledge. He's deeply rooted. The keys to unlock the wisdom. I love that. And it mirrors the the high priestess with the towers. So I like that as well. Okay, the lovers, I like this. They're both winged, but notice their wings are very different. And this side of the tree is different than this side here. You know, I kind of like that each card has a different font and a different color. I like it. Some has a little background. Some of the titles are printed directly onto the card. I like that. That Chariot card is very cool. Oh, look at strength. And look at how she has a hold of that. I'm gonna guess that that's a snake. That's really interesting. It kind of gives that vibe of between a rock and a hard place. How sometimes even in those situations you kind of have to find your footing and stand your ground. Oh, I like that hermit. Oh, on top of a turtle. That's really cool. I like that. Oh, and I don't know if you can see this, but look at the lantern. There, look at the cool colors in the lantern. That's pretty neat. The wheel, I like that. No, those dots kind of remind me of Twister. Oh, justice. Look, black and white. You know, I just pulled this card today. And she has her scale. She's balancing yin and yang energy, masculine, feminine. The sword, upright. It's beautiful. I like it. The hanged man, the hanged rabbit, snake in this card as well. I don't know. Can you see? The snake is curled up around him. Death. Death with a capital H. So that's interesting. He's got an hourglass. Mm. Oh, look at temperance. It's like two beings in one, right? Because we have two heads, but two arms, two legs. And then we have here fire, that masculine energy, being balanced with water, that feminine energy. The devil. Look at those creatures on the bottom. Oh, I like that tower. You know what's interesting? There's a moon and also a sun. And that ray is just chopping it down in the water. It looks like a tidal wave. Ooh, okay, so I love a star card. This one's really pretty and unique. The moon. Whoa, okay, so you have the moon, and here's this hand reaching out, and you can see the reflection in the water. And then we have your two wolves there. So in essence, it's like she is the crustacean that is coming out of the water. in the darkness. That sun card. Oh, there's a person in here. Hold on, look. Can you see? There's a person in there. That's pretty cool. Not for nothing, but this has like Lion King vibes. Judgment. Okay. I know I'm kind of slow, but I feel like I'm going through these pretty quickly and I'm going to have to sit with these cards for a while to learn them, right? But this is Judgment. Then you have this figure here. Then you have, I mean, there's different ways to interpret that. The soul, maybe the spirit. Then we have this figure here, the angel. But then look at here. You have this figure that looks like is in meditation, and this one that looks like is in outrage. And then look at the heart versus the fireball. That's really interesting. I like when cards have a lot of symbols, but sometimes cards have too many and it makes it hard. It makes it hard to unpack it all. But that's why it's important to work with a deck um, for as long as it takes in order to, to build those associations and get to know it. The world. That's really, that's a really cool card. I like that. Okay. Oh, so that's interesting. We're starting with cups. Okay, so ace. Oh no, hold on. We're starting with they're in numerical order. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so hold on. So I think I'm gonna show them like this so we can look at them all at the same time. And I feel like actually this is quite perfect because I really like to, when I get a new deck, to study it and kind of compare and contrast the cards. And this is a cool way to do it. Of course, by numbers, but also it's interesting to do it by suit. So here we have all of our aces, and it looks like it's pretty RWS based. So we have cups, rods, which would be wands, pentacles, and swords. For the twos, the two, I really like that two of cups. I like those watery figures. And then we have the two of rods, two of pentacles, looks like a bunny. And look at the eyelashes on the two of swords. Those are not eyelashes. Hold on. Those are wings. Okay, so there's two beings here. Oh my goodness, there's two beings, one on each side. I thought those were eyelashes. I love those lips. Oh, that's pretty cool. So here we have the three. So, your standard three of cups. You have the three rods here. There is an animal figure here, but there's a person here too. It's almost like they're ready. They're about to set off, but they're already being faced with something. That's an interesting interpretation. Then here, three of pentacles. I kind of like this, that it's one figure working on something, because sometimes when there's three, it throws off the interpretation. No, I take that back. It's not that it throws off the interpretation, it changes the interpretation. So it's nice to have something that's a little bit different. And then the three of swords, I mean, you know, it's the three of swords. So for the threes, we have foundation and creation. Those are the key words. Now, here we have the fours. The keywords are rest and stillness. These, I like these cards a lot. I feel like it's so fun to have a deck that goes just a little bit different. I love these figures in here. I don't even know what they would be. I don't know if they would be considered fae. Um, I'm not sure, but I really like it. Four of Rods. I love the posture of the Four of Pentacles. This is such a difficult posture. Like, have you ever tried to do this in a yoga pose? And notice how there's those like two sets of beady eyes in the back of that. I'll bring it up. You see? So maintaining that composure, even when there's something in the background that throws off your concentration. And then we have the Four of Swords. Now, for the fives, the keywords are difficulty, trial, and challenge, which of course makes all the sense in the world. I mean, you can see this figure here looks as though she's in despair. Then we have the commotion and chaos of the Five of Rods, and you don't really know if it's a negative situation or a positive situation, but it could go either way. Five of Pentacles. No church, but I like how the pentacles have been formed out of the stars in the night sky. I really like that. And then we have the Five of Swords with that chicken rooster type of figure. And we do see the two figures here walking away, and look at the swords. They look like a disaster. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so here we have the sixes. The keywords are benefit and bounty. That's an interesting keyword, benefit. Okay, so Six of Cups. There's a figure in each of the cups. I love the water flowing and that ginormous sun in the background. Six of Rods. I mean, pretty standard. Uh, Six of Pentacles. So usually this is a card of helping, giving and receiving. So this is a bit of a different interpretation. And then, ooh, this is interesting. Six of Swords. Look at that contraption flying in the sky, accompanied by all of those ravens. And look at the water. I love how it's black. Now we have the sevens. The keywords are patience and care. I like that. I've never really considered care as a keyword, but I really like that. I think it works well. So here, we have the seven cups in a variety of different styles, kind of alluding to that choice. And Seven of Rods. I like this guy. Look at him. He's like, whoop, stand your ground. Ooh, I wish I knew, like, look at the gesture that he's making with his hand. And that fox type figure. That's interesting. I like this, father and son out there on the field together. It's like the passing of knowledge from one to another. I really like that. Seven of Swords. All right, this almost feels like we get a close up of that flying contraption there. What is happening? All right, so he's making away with the swords, and look at the ravens are not happy at all. So for the eights, the keywords are force, potency, and balance. Wow. All right. So, Eight of Cups, I mean, what you would expect. You see your fish type figure, mermaid figure swimming off, Eight of Rods. I like that fox in um, each of the rods. Eight of Pentacles. It's a bridge. At least it seems that way to me, right? Like a bridge. You see that tiny figure. Like the thought of building a bridge, it has to be like mega time consuming, requires so much. I love that interpretation. And then we have our eight, and that's just a disaster. Oh my, and I love that it's a web, because you almost see, look at the swords. The handles on the swords almost look like spiders. It's trapped everything. Even those ravens are stuck. We have our nines, and the keyword is completion and mastery. And that's kind of true, because sometimes it feels like 10 is completion, but really it's like the end and the beginning. Nine feels more like a completion. So I like that. I like this goofy figure with all the cups. And they look like little seahorses. And then we have our nine of rods, pretty standard. But I like that he's not alone. It's like he has an animal companion, right? You could think about that as a spirit guide that accompanies you on your mission. Then we have your nine of pentacles, and we have the bird, we have the figure, all the pentacles, of course. And they're both decked out in pentacles. She's wearing a necklace, and the bird tail. Okay, tail feathers are decorated, and then you look at this nine of swords. I don't think I've ever seen a nine of. Oh my goodness! Hold on, put the deck down. Because look, here is a figure. I thought this was a figure, and it is coming straight out of his head. It's turned into something else made entirely out of his own hair. And then look at the swords. Wow. And look at the look on the figure's face. That's just wow. That's powerful. I like that. Now we're at the tens, and this is a return revolution. Yeah, and that makes sense, right? The return, the great return. Ten of Cups is just absolutely beautiful. It's almost like the world card, you see. I love that. Ten of Rods, you know, what you would expect. Look at him. And look at that mountain in front of him. Then your Ten of Pentacles. Okay, there's a lot of detail in this card. So, all right. This looks like a celebration, and someone is observing from a distance. I love that fountain in the middle. These two, I don't know, are those warthogs? That's just crazy. Yeah, I like that. And then, oh my goodness gracious, look at this poor dude. Oh, look at his mouth. Hold on. You see that? Yikes. Wow, that's pretty pretty intense. So it's interesting because in this deck, they have put the queens in next. Here are the queens. And the keywords are nurture and creation. And these are really beautiful. They're gorgeous. That Queen of Swords looks like she's in deep thought. Oh my goodness gracious. Look at her necklace. It's a spider. And it looks like a tear of blood. That's interesting. Next, we have our page, and the keyword is youth, study, and novice. Well, I like that keyword, novice. I mean, it's perfect. It's perfect for the page. His goofy smile. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I like that magnifying glass. You see that? So cool. Next, we have the knight, and the keyword is crusader, action, motion. I like those. I like crusader. That's a powerful word. Okay. It looks like they all have their trusty steed of some sort. We have a seahorse, fox. I'm still trying to understand what kind of animal this is. Right? It looks like a warthog. And here. Oh, this suit of swords is very interesting. I like that. I wouldn't want him to catch me with that sword. It looks more like a paddle. And lastly, we have the kings, and the key words are discipline and stability, which I would agree with. These these kings look awesome. I love all the detail and the colors. I'd be curious to find out why they were ordered in the way in which they were ordered. I think what I would like to do is look at the cards by suit. So I just wanted to fan out the cards to kind of look at them overall. And there is, it's, obviously there's a lot of blue, which, makes sense for the cup. So there's a lot of yellow. And I really like that. And it looks like most of these figures are water figures. This one, the Two of Cups, is a little bit more difficult to tell, but you can kind of, at least with this figure here on the left, it almost looks like she's made up of the waves. Um, and then here you can kind of see the fins on their body. So they all look like water figures. I think that's pretty cool. I like when the suits make sense together, and they've clearly given this a lot of thought. It's a bit challenging to get them all in the frame, but I mean, at least this way you kind of get an idea, right? So this is uh, the rod suit, which would be wands, fire, and I mean, you do see it, but I mean, I can't help but notice there's a lot of green in this suit. So that's really interesting. There's a lot of green. But I like how they've used the oranges in this deck because the figures almost look like flames. So that's interesting. Now here we have the pentacles, and there is a lot of green here, but there's a lot of black. Everything, it seems like everything takes place in the night sky, which is so interesting, right? Because if you think about it, Like, think about the human body, its ability to repair itself. And when does that usually happen? It doesn't happen in the daytime in the hustle and bustle. It happens overnight when we are asleep and we are in rest mode. So, definitely, this gives us a completely different way to look at the suit of Pentacles. So, here we have the swords, and you can see there is, I mean, the primary color is like a burgundy and black, which is super interesting, right? Because usually uh what we see is like steel gray, that type of color scheme. So very, very different. Um it's very interesting. It's hard for me at this point to kind of share which suit I feel may be my favorite one so far. They're each so unique. I really like this. Overall, kind of first impressions, this deck is, it looks very interesting, very different than anything else that I have in my collection. I love the colors and the art, and I like the card backings. I like the edging. I have heard about this deck that the edging sheds, and I can already see bits of gold everywhere, but the cardstock feels really good. And I'll be interested. It overhand shuffles nicely. Let me see if I can, let me see here. Okay. Yeah, it does a nice job. Now, I'm not much of a riffle shuffler, so I'm sorry. This is the best I can manage. And I'm kind of happy because, I'm always petrified that I'm gonna ruin my decks. I think it's um I think it's very interesting, and it's going to be a unique deck to work with and to study. There must be a book. This card is just wanting to come out. Okay. Two of Swords. So, when we were going through the deck, we saw that the keyword for the two is attract, dualism, balancing. And then the key words for the swords: air, mental, logic, and conflict. And so when we look at the keywords that we've been given by the creator for this specific card, it would be limited ideas. And, I can kind of see that because this figure looks like they have a very limited scope of vision. And I don't think that that's just what you see here in terms like, oh, they're blindfolded. No, I think when you're in a situation and you don't have a vision for how you want to proceed, what decisions to take to get from point A to point B. And so when you don't know what to do, you stumble, right? And you have this analysis paralysis situation going on, and it makes it difficult. Why? Because you don't have a vision, you don't have a path, um, you don't have something that is guiding you in terms of next steps. And sometimes we get overwhelmed because, say, we have a project, we think of the entirety of the project, but it would be so much easier if we broke it down into baby steps. And then it would make it easier to get from point A to point B and then eventually to project completion. But it's really important to have a vision or a mission, a goal of some sort, and to be clear on how you're going to get there. And you can't do that if you don't give this stage of the process that kind of thought. So it's very interesting. I'm sure colors have a lot to do in this deck and the way that they've been used. It's really interesting. I'm looking forward to working with this deck, and I'll be curious if you have this deck. Let me know. Let me know what your interaction with it has been. What type of readings do you use it for? Do you use it all year? Do you use it at a certain time of year? I'd be interested. So that is it. That is my unboxing and um, my thoughts, my initial thoughts on the Ellis deck. Thanks for watching. Bye.